time's knocking upon your front door.
I'll see what happens. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Make Your Day Richer. I'm Richard Wilmore, and I'm here with Timmy Bauer. Good morning, Timmy. How are you?
What's up, Richard? I feel like I need to turn this way and look this way.
No, turn the other way. I'm the other way.
Oh, okay.
There, see, that's because you flipped it. Yeah, there. Now you can look at me. Yeah. Or just
What's
look
up,
straight ahead.
Richard?
Whatever. We're just hanging out in my studio. But what's fun is that in a couple weeks, we will be in the same room because we are both going to be at the INKpreneuers Summit in Winston-Salem, November 1st and 2nd. Tickets are available at INKpreneuerSummit.com. And what are you going to be doing there?
So I'm giving two talks. One of them is going to be about the kids' book, like publishing world. So mostly the two different ways that people can become published kids' book authors. I am a published kids' book author both ways. So traditionally published and self-published. I say self-published all the way. But I'm going to talk about different reasons why someone would go one way or the other, and my experience going both ways. And then I'm doing a talk called Bootstrap Your Book Tour, which I'm very excited about. I'm working on a book called Bootstrap Your Book Tour. It is my experience as a full-time touring kids book author. It's everything that I learned in my experience as a full-time touring kids book author, making a living on book sales, which is a unheard of, crazy way to try to make money. We run 2 book production companies now that turns other people into authors. And I tell all our clients, hey, don't try to make a living on book sales. It's not a great thing to pursue. Not that it's not a great thing to pursue, but like, it's not
shoo-in. Yeah.
There are much better ways to make money as an author than simply trying to make a living on book sales. However, that's what I did from 2018 to 2019. So I'm going to share all the things that I learned from that and how someone could replicate what I did, but then also add the main thing that I was missing that I wish that I could go back in time and slap myself about.
And that's why you have to come to the INKpreneuers Summit, November 1st and 2nd, to hear what that is. When did you get into children's book authoring?
So I started writing my first book for my little brother, Tristan. I was 17 years old and he was 4. And this was in 2007, I believe. Some of these numbers might be wrong, but anyways, it took me 4 years. I spent 4 years writing it for him. Like I would just write some more and show him some more, etc. Reread it to him what I had written over and over again. By the time he was 8 years old, I had finished the book, but I didn't know what to do with it because it was just written as a way to connect with my little brother. And then I was working at the time in entertainment at Disney, Walt Disney World. And a bunch of performer friends saw my stuff because I would just like break it out on my breaks and like tweak it and stuff. Like I used to spend my breaks doing watercolor painting and stuff. Anyways, I showed a bunch of performer friends at Disney my work, and they were like, "You really should publish this and like actually like become a kids book author." And so I felt encouraged by that. And I looked at the 2 different ways to become a kids book author, the self-published route and the published route. Stephen King has this quote about becoming a published author. And he says, if you want to become a published author, you should buy a big nail and nail it to the wall behind you. And every time you get a rejection letter, just put it on that nail. And eventually the weight of the rejection letters will pull the nail off the wall. So then just go to the store and get a bigger nail and put that on the wall and keep piling up those rejection letters until finally somebody doesn't reject you and you become a published author. I was like, okay, I could go that route. Or I could just self-publish, and I could try to get myself in front of the market, the readers, and I've kind of beat my head over the course of my life, basically, at the question of like, how do I make kids books that are really good that kids want to read? And that felt better to me because it felt like it was more in my control. Something to know about the traditionally published world. It's like, if your book isn't immediately very successful, the publisher pretty much drops you and they kind of pretend like you don't exist anymore. But if you're self-published, you can just keep at it. until you've worked the problem away. And not to say that you can't keep at it and make another book and try to get that one published, but for whatever reason, the self-published route just felt more in my control. And so in 2014, I think is when I came out with Billy the Dragon. I started knocking on elementary school doors, like physically knocking on them and being like, "Hi, I'm kids book author Timmy Bauer, and I would love to read you my children's book, Billy the Dragon, or for your kids." And about half the time they'd turn me away. They'd be like, "Who's this weird man that wants to read to our children?" And the other half the time they'd say, "Okay, well, yeah, hey, you should go talk to the school librarian." And I learned really quickly, if I could get a face-to-face with the school librarian and show her my work, they would never say no. They almost always said like, "Okay, great, let's get you on the calendar." And so from then on, a big part of my strategy became, how do I get lots and lots of face-to-face interactions with school librarians so I can show them my work so that I can come perform at their schools? And that evolved over the years into, by the time 2018, 2019 comes around, I'm now full-time on the road, constantly going school to school to school across different states and different parts of the US and performing my books. And I had a process for how to turn those performances consistently and repeatedly into book sales. And I was just basically living on those book sales.
Wow. What you have your first baby on the way, which is congratulations.
Thank you.
Are you gonna make like, how's that gonna change the way you like you're touring?
Yeah.
You know, like being away from home. How's that gonna change, or is it going to change?
Yeah, for one thing, if I go back to a life of touring, so COVID wiped out the life of touring that I was doing. When 2020 rolled around, I was midway in a tour that I was in the process of building in North Carolina. Shout out to an amazing person, Jamie Staley. She helped me book that tour. She's a really well-connected librarian in North Carolina. And thanks to her, I had a bunch of bookings, but they all started canceling because of COVID, and I had to go back home, and I had no, I'd spent the majority of the profits that I had up till that point on print runs so that I could keep touring. So I basically had no money and no job and no way of touring and no way of selling all these books that I had recently purchased. You can't pay your rent with books, and you can't eat books. So anyway, that wiped out my ability to tour. Since then, the majority of the touring that I've done since COVID, kind of like the world opened back up, it's been either short stints where it's like, I'll have like a friend who's really well connected among school librarians in a very specific geographic spot. And I'll book all the schools within like 1 week so that I'm going there. I'm doing like 6 to 8 schools in 1 week. And then I fly home, and like that'll be worthwhile because it's a short stint and I can just go there and do it, meet a bunch of people, do a bunch of book readings, and then come back home. Or virtual tours. It's possible to do virtual touring. I call it Oz style visits. So I tell the school, "Hey, would you like to do an Oz style visit?" And that's like where they project me onto the auditorium like I'm the great and powerful Oz. But they put a laptop in front of me so that I can interact with the students. And I've done some of that. So anyway, long way of saying short answer. As a father, I'm gonna have to either do short stints, do a lot of Oz style visits, do like conferences into short stints, or take the family on the road.
You have to get a tour bus.
Yeah.
What is the best way people are and do want to book you or connect with you? What's the best way to do that?
Oh, yeah, sure. Great question. If you are a school faculty or school faculty and you're like, we should have him come do a school visit at our school. My email address is timmy@dinosaurhouse.com. Dinosaur House is the book production company that I own. Timmy@dinosaurhouse.com. Just put in the subject line like, "Hey, would you come to our school?" And so if I can't come do a physical visit, I will at least offer an Oz style visit, and they're very fun, and they're almost it's like 80% the experience of what it would be if I was there live and in person. And coming up on being a father, I don't know how much of that I'm going to be able to do, which is really sad, honestly, because I loved full-time touring. It was awesome. I do 2 schools a day. And then I would go at night, I would go like hiking in the woods. And then I'd go wake up the next morning and do the same thing again. And I just did that over and over and over again. I would do like up to 5 hours of driving a day.
Oh my
I
gosh.
loved it. I loved it. But it's not like, unless you want a tour bus, like you said, like I could see that happening. And I don't know how difficult it would be to convince my wife to do it. But there's a version of like a future in my head that is
Mhm.
tour bus life.
Yes,
Yeah.
manifest that.
Yeah. But anyway, if you want to check out my work, if you just type in my name, Timmy Bauer, into either Google or Amazon, or better yet, YouTube, you can see you can see what it looks like when I do a performing of these children's books. I'm very animated and crazy. Author Timmy is my YouTube profile. And there's video performances of all of my books. So you don't even have to buy them. You can watch them on YouTube.
How many books do you have now?
It's about 10 personally. And then my company, Dinosaur House, we turn other people into kids book authors also. And so I think the total is somewhere between 50 and 60.
That's amazing. Amazing. Why should people come to the INKpreneuers Summit?
I think that if you have any ambition about being an author professionally, it is good to meet people that have done it and can say like, hey, here's what I did that worked. Here's what I did that didn't work. And that's very, very valuable. There was nobody really for me that I could find that I could talk to when I was figuring this stuff out. And I was so arrogant, I probably wouldn't have listened anyways, but but there's going to be a wealth of that at INKpreneuers.
It's going to be amazing. November 1st and 2nd in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. You can get tickets on the website right there at the bottom of the screen. Go get Timmy's books also at the bottom of the screen. Timmy, thank you so much for being here.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. This was a lot of fun.
Anytime. I'll see you in a couple weeks.
Okay, see you then.
We'll be right back, everybody.
You know what would be better than watching this commercial? Watching your commercial. Join the party that is Make Your Day Richer TV by advertising your brand, business, or project during the show. Use us to promote what you're doing to make our viewers' day richer. 1 month of advertising starts at $200. Scan the QR code or visit makeyourdayricher.com/advertising to start promoting today.
Are you an independent creative looking to take your career to the next level? Whether you're an author, illustrator, or thinking about getting into this industry, it's time to step into the spotlight at the INKpreneuers Summit 2024. This November 1st and 2nd in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, we're bringing together the best minds in the publishing industry for 2 days of unparalleled learning and intimate networking. From hands-on workshops with industry experts to interactive networking mixers, you'll get the tools, connections, and insights to turn your creativity into a thriving business. And that's not all. Our Fresh Ink Pavilion is the place for new and emerging authors to showcase and sell their books, right in front of passionate readers and industry pros who are ready to support your journey. Plus, meet our incredible lineup of speakers sharing your secrets to success in publishing and beyond. Don't miss out. Secure your spot today and get ready to elevate your creative career. Visit INKpreneursSummit.com to register. Let's give your creativity the success it deserves. See you in Winston-Salem.
Welcome back, everybody. Poor Timmy's video, not the best. I love technology when it works, and I hate it when it doesn't. But at least his audio didn't cut off, so we could hear him loud and clear. So please come to the INKpreneur Summit, November 1st and 2nd, Winston-Salem. Early Bird Special, I just talked to Ella this morning, who's running the entire thing, and the Early Bird Special is still alive and well on the website. So INKpreneuers Summit, INKpreneuers with an S on the end, summit.com, and meet Timmy, myself. Yesterday's guest, James Quinn, will be there. A ton of other people. It's going to be great. So I hope to see you there. Let's see. You know where else I hope to see you? This coming weekend in Waxhaw, North Carolina, Autumn Treasures, a 2-day festival. Super family friendly. There's an entire downtown park that is for kids with a Ferris wheel and all of this kid-friendly stuff. There are going to be local vendors, beer garden, live music, and I will be emceeing the event both Saturday and Sunday. So I hope to see you there. It's Saturday from 10 to 6 and Sunday from noon to 6 p.m. So stop by the main stage and say hello. And then on your drive there, you can put on the new episode of the Before You Go podcast, which is a podcast that I help with a little creative direction and editing for a nonprofit out of San Antonio that allows people to move basically into a home in their final days of life. And this podcast is amazing. I love working on this podcast. And they have a new episode. It's available wherever you get your podcasts or on YouTube. And here is a clip from the latest episode.
He started to fade away. It took him a couple weeks, I would say, maybe 2 or 3 weeks. He started to fade away and he was less responsive, but whenever he could, he would always greet me with this big smile. I mean, it was a smile that could light up the room, and it just made my heart sing. And I think about him frequently because sometimes that's the kind of guest that we get to serve. He wasn't able to speak. He wasn't able to communicate with me except through that smile and eye contact and just that ever so subtle softness or relaxation when we were able to connect. So I'm just so grateful to have had that experience with him because he definitely made an imprint on my heart.
Before You Go is available wherever you get your podcasts. And if you need help with your podcast or live stream, let me know. Okay, what else do I have to tell you? Hey, thank you for 47,000 views of this show. I love it. Every day is a new adventure here. I get to meet amazing people. I'm so glad that I get to share it with y'all. And thank you for watching and downloading and sharing and all the things you do. So keep watching. We've got a lot of great stuff coming up. So I love the milestones. What else? Our first ever newsletter is coming out today. It's been a long time coming, and it's coming out this afternoon or this evening, or I don't know when it's coming out. But if you want to be on our newsletter, make sure you go to makeyourdayricher.com and sign up for the newsletter. Lots of fun stuff in there, and lots of great people you should be meeting, things that are happening, ways to connect. Go to the website and sign up for the newsletter. It's free, of course. And let me see. That is it. Oh, one last thing. Y'all love and are looking for new music. Go get the new Nelly Furtado CD. Do you remember Nelly Furtado from like back in the early 2000s? I'm like a bird. I only fly away. I'll sing it, but I don't want to trash it. You remember her? She has a new album out. It's called 7, and it is so good. So if you're in the mood for new music, go get Nelly Furtado's CD. All right, on tomorrow's show, yes, Ella, go get the newsletter. Okay, on tomorrow's show, we've got the one and only Sarah Seidelman will be here. She is a Midwesterner from Duluth, Minnesota, where Duluth is actually where I would have to drive to a different state to get my school clothes. So spend a lot of time in Duluth, and she has this great book, Boundaries Make Love Possible, that we're going to talk all about tomorrow. It is written and illustrated by her. Let's get some amazing artist that you're not even going to be able to see good enough in this camera. But this is her book, Boundaries Make Love Possible, and she will be here tomorrow to talk all about that. So tune in tomorrow live. She's going to be live, not in the studio. She'll be, you know how that works. Okay. That's it. I love you all. Go make your day richer. Go make someone else's day richer, because, you've made mine by watching this show. So thank you so much for doing that. And we will see you tomorrow, everyone. You see all the names at the end of this show are all people that have donated and supported this show, and I cannot thank them all enough. So I put them there. I wish I could say all of their names. Their guests, their fans, their viewers, a ton of people go into making this show possible. So thank you. And if you'd like to support the show, go to buymeacoffee.com/makeyourdayricher. And we'll keep creating great shows for you. All right. I love you. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.